Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Tiffany, a retired librarian turned homeschool mom. And in this video we're going to talk about something fun, if slightly quirky, if slightly interesting, and very, very 90s. So this Halloween I want to start off with a fun movie that is completely family friendly and complete nonsense. And it's Disney. And now normally I'm not a huge fan of the Disney Corporation. They've done some horrible things because Disney. So, but this is older. Not that Disney hasn't done horrible things at this point, but like Harry Potter, it's not going away. And this movie is fun, as is Hocus Pocus, which I'm going to cover later. Because again, 90s. So, and that, I was not born in the 90s, I was born in the mid-80s. But I was a teen around this time, and occasionally I watched Disney Channel. In fact, let's see. Oh, speaking of Halloween, that's Andrew. You've seen some of my other videos. She periodically shows up because she's 12 and she's cranky and cat. I brought her back from Romania, so she's kind of Halloweeny as well. She's a cranky calico, aren't you? Yes, you're a cranky calico. So Halloweentown came out in 1998. So I was about 14 when this film came out, and it stars the wonderful Debbie Reynolds, and then the two other main actresses are Kimberly J. Brown and Judith Hogg, or Hogue. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. So this is the basic premise. It's a Disney Channel movie. So Debbie Reynolds is the grandmother, Kimberly J. Brown is the mother, and then Judith Hogg is the daughter, and then there are two other kids involved. So the child's character name is Marnie, her grandmother's name is Agatha or Aggie, and then Gwen is the name of the daughter. So the mother is very anti-Halloween, so she doesn't want her daughter Marnie, her younger daughter Sophie, and then there's her son. What is her son's name here? Hold on. Let's see. Let's see. Where on earth is it? Children. Dylan. To be involved in Halloween. They're not allowed to participate in Halloween at all. Their father's dead. I think that's not really explained. Mom is widow because dad would be involved. And again, Disney likes to kill off either mothers or fathers. They like to do that. I may cover the Princess Diaries at some point. Which is interesting. And again, occasionally Disney as well as a book. But moving on to this. So the basic premise is mother was a witch. Grandmother's a witch. Mother wants to be human and mortal and doesn't want her kids involved in magic whatsoever. And she grew up in a alternate dimension called Halloweentown. So grandma comes to visit because I think the only time they can enter the mortal realm is on Halloween for a certain period of time. So grandmother shows up, spends time with grandkids because despite not wanting to be a witch, she also doesn't want to cut off her mother for some reason. Again, not explained. But they spend time with the kids. The kids are already fighting with mom because Marnie, particularly being almost 13, wants to do stuff with her friends on Halloween because it's fun. So mom puts the kids to bed. They continue to argue. Then grandma puts the kids to bed and tells them a story about Halloweentown, where there are goblins and ghouls and witches and vampires and werewolves and stuff living a normal life. And her little Sophie sees a witch that looks like her big sister Marnie. So they go to bed. Angie goes downstairs, has a fight with her daughter. Marnie, being 12, sneaks down and hears the fight, realizes that she will lose her powers if she's not trained by 13. So she and her brother Dylan and then Sophie, unbeknownst to them, follow grandma and get on the bus to Halloweentown. So the kids get there. Grandma doesn't realize they're there. Dylan and Marley realize Sophie had followed them, so they didn't realize she was there. They go looking for grandma. They run into the mayor of Halloweentown, who used to date their mother, and yes, that's important. And he tries to get get them to come with him, but little sister thinks Sophie, who's always, the little one's always the smarter ones in these things, she thinks he's creepy. So she's like, there's something wrong with this guy. So they listen to their little sister. They find Grandma. Grandma says and she'd been arguing with her daughter about this, people are disappearing in Halloweentown all of a sudden. And why the mother doesn't particularly care, she thinks they just moved away. Agatha, of course, thinks something wrong. And she's right, because of course there is. So she's trying to create this talisman. So they're trying to find the ingredients. Mom shows up, pissed, wants the kids to go back, only she can't find a bus back to Halloweentown. So they go to the mayor, who turns out, again, to be her old boyfriend. He's not particularly happy with her, but he's very, very charming. He leaves. And they look out the window. They see a young goblin by the name of Luke, who's made to look like a normal human boy, even though he's not because of magic spell. He's walking with Agatha. They think something's up, so they follow into a movie theater. They realize he hightails it out of there. There's some sort of demon trying to take over things and freezing people. And he does that to both mother and grandmother. So the kids escape, and they go finish getting the ingredients to this spell and get this talisman. And try to, I think they do release Mom and Grandma. And then Calabar, that's the ex-boyfriend, turns out to be the demon. He's pissed off because Gwen went off to marry a mortal man, and he's angry because reasons, and apparently he's not over high school. So remember, Marnie is almost 13, so yeah, it's been a while, and he's still angry. So then he tries to take over things. He wants to take over, it's a big speech, I want to take over Halloweentown and the mortal realm and rule it because Disney. And it's a Disney movie, because of course they do. They want to take over the world. That's what all evil villains in a lot of these shows do. He wants to take over the world. And of course he's stopped because the family starts casting spells. Turns out Brother Dylan has magic. He joins in with his mother and grandmother and her sister. I think little sister's joined in as well. And Marnie's able to get this talisman in just before she freezes and drops it into the jack-o'-lantern that destroys basically Calabar and freezes everybody, essentially. And Halloweentown is back to normal, where Calabar loses power and goes away for a while. This film is actually the start of a very interesting series. There's a couple. I'll look into that. There's several continuations here. But essentially that's the way it ends. Happily ever after, because of course it's a Disney Channel movie. It's fun. It's quirky. I wouldn't watch it with teenagers. Well, you might. They'll roll their eyes at it, but it's fun. I mean, it's not supposed to be really scary. It's just kind of insane. And it's fun. And that's kind of what I wanted to start off with. It's very fun. It's early Disney Channel. So this is apparently their 4th original movie. So there was a bunch of original Disney Channel original movies around this time period. So let's see. I'm going to see if I can find how many there are actually in here. I've seen this one. I think I've seen the second one. So let's see. Yeah, there's a second one. Yeah, there's Halloweentown, Calabar's Revenge happened in 01, and then Halloweentown High in 04, and then Return to Halloweentown in 06. So by the time really the 04, 06 happened, I was finishing high school and into college at this point. So let's see, the Halloweentown series here on Wikipedia. But yeah, it's just kind of the 4 movies. They're cute. I mean, if you guys want to, this is a good family film. It will probably make your teenagers roll their eyes, but it's still funny. And that's what it's supposed to be. It's not trying to be too serious. It's a Disney Channel original Halloween movie. It's not supposed to be scary. The makeup is funny. But again, that's what it is. It's not trying to be anything more than what it is. Debbie Reynolds is fantastic because, of course, she is. She's a highly seasoned actress. She knows what the heck she's doing. We lost her probably far too soon, as well as her wonderful, wonderful daughter, who did a lot more than most people think. I wouldn't be surprised if she had a writing credit on this film, because that's what she does. Well, at least that's what she did. Yes, this is, if you're not familiar with who this is, she's the person who played Leia in the Star Trek films, and for some reason I'm copying on her name right now. And if I can, because she obviously doesn't share the same name as her last name as her mother. I do not know what that banging sound was, because children. So let's see, because my brain is missing. Let's see. Who is the daughter of Debbie Reynolds? Film work. Music, stage work. Yeah, she had a huge, long career. And why on earth? There's the husband's name. Where on earth can I not see her daughter's name? Let's see. Carrie Fisher. There we go. Who was in the Star Wars films. But both of them fantastic actresses. But this was a family movie. She enjoyed probably doing the series because they were easy and they were fun. And I'm assuming she had grandkids and this was fun. So if you're looking for a light, particularly for the little kids, Halloween movie that's still a little scary, it's scary for elementary school, some elementary school kids. So again, this was 1998. I was an early teenager. I thought it was fun. I mean, that's really all this is about. It's a fun family film to put on for young kids to enjoy it. It's completely wholesome because Disney. Because of course it's the Disney Channel, particularly in the 90s. It's classical early 2000s, late 90s Disney. So very, very wholesome, very, very fun. I mean, again, I'm not the hugest fan of Disney, but they have some good stuff. And again, Disney is not completely going away. So I'm looking for good family films to talk about during Halloween. It's something I would probably show to my kids. Okay. And that's always, when it comes to some of these films, Kat, will you stop marking on my desk? This thing's irritating. Extremely irritating. But she's lovely. Will you stop? Who sent marking on my computer screen because she's paranoid because there are kittens in our house. No, they're not hers. We have adopted them. She is fixed. Couldn't get her into the country without being fixed. So again, back to the film. They're fun. I mean, the entire series is probably fun. It's not really all that scary because, again, that's not what it's meant to be. It's meant to be something to watch with the little kids and the elementary school kids. It will make your middle school kids and your high schoolers roll their eyes, but it will not torture them. It's just fun. Not to mention, Debbie Reynolds can be a lure. I don't know who else is in these films. See if there's anything that would attract. I have no knowledge of current teenagers. Let me scroll down here to Halloweentown series. Let's see. No, it's just giving me directors. I know Debbie Reynolds is in every single one of them, as is Kimberly J. Brown, who is actually Marnie, and her brother Dylan, and the sister Sophie is in all. They're in the first one, looks like, yeah, I think they're in all of them. So, interesting. Yeah, this is just describing what the films are, if you want to know. I just described Halloweentown. Halloweentown 2, Calabar's Revenge. It's 2 years later. A warlock by the name of Cal, stolen magic spell book, plans to turn everyone into their costume they might be wearing at midnight. So, similar to a scene in Hocus Pocus. So, you're familiar with that. Halloweentown High is, again, we do another 2-year increment. Marnie is in high school. She's doing a student exchange program between her mortal high school and Halloweentown High. and she's helping some various students. And I think the major theme of this film was learning to be accepting yourself for who you are and accepting people for differences, because it's Disney. And then the Return to Halloweentown, which came the fourth and final film. Marnie arrives at, of course, Halloweentown University because she's older, known as Witch U, and the teacher's waiting for her arrival to fulfill some sort of prophecy. Okay, because there has to be a prophecy. So apparently there was a couple short films in here. So, but that's the main kind of films. All of them, I haven't seen all of them, but they're all going to be of the similar tone. And they're fun. So if you're looking for some films to rent, to entertain your little ones, or the middle schoolers, or have them roll their eyes, this might work for some middle schoolers or some tweens, depending on who they are. It's great to put on. It's fun. It's entertaining. There's nothing dark. There's nothing religious, really. It's just fun. And I like these films. I would show them to my kids. Otherwise, I wouldn't really be reviewing them and recommending them, because they're fun. They're good kind of to get kids started on some of the Halloween entertainment kind of things. So if you're looking for something relaxing to watch, and because it's Disney, it has good messages and differences and looking at different creatures, and it can be used educationally because there's a lot of different creatures, werewolves and vampires and demons and witches, and you can talk about that with the history of Halloween, and which is always fun. I enjoy Halloween, as I said in my intro video. It's particularly this kind of thing. This is the fun. This is the quirky. This is you get to dress up and act goofy and enjoy eating candy and just embrace the quirkiness and occasionally the commercialism of this before the craziness of the rest of the holiday season hits. So that's this type of movie. It's the quirky, it's the fun, it's the this is going to make you smile type of Halloween movie that you put on for the little kids. So that is it for this review. Check out the rest of my Halloween stuff. I'm doing a bunch more. I am going to cover Hocus Pocus, which is a little bit darker and yet still Disney. And for some reason, they're remaking it with some of the Save Adult cast. I don't know what I think about that. But moving on, I also do I'm doing a whole bunch of non-religious Christmas stuff. I'm doing all of Harry Potter, which is going on right now. It started back in September. I'm doing a bunch of Native American stuff, reviews in November. I'm doing a bunch of, I'm doing some classic horror throughout the month of October. So check out those book reviews. I also have dozens of other book reviews and a sprinkling of kids travel stuff, and some secular homeschooling stuff. So like and subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you.